This is a form of medieval torture that has long been abolished, stuffing a living person into a cow's stomach and then sewing it up. Taking advantage of the strong acid in the cow's stomach to slowly burn the person to death, it takes 3 days for the person to fully digest. In the end, what reason made people so cruel? The story has to start from here. Harper is an animal photographer. In order to take pictures of rare snake species, she will dress up to blend into the trees. One day when she was out boating looking for snake tracks, she heard a scream nearby. Out of curiosity, she followed the sound to find a group of men torture a woman with a whip. After seeing such a brutal scene, and a mad dog gnawing at the woman's insides, Harper vomited in fear, but out of her professional ethics as an animal photographer, she picked up her camera to record the evil deeds of these beasts, but unfortunately she got spotted. Harper quickly ran to the lake, rowed the boat to the other side, and drove away from this horrifying place. As she drove, she couldn't stop looking in the rearview mirror, afraid that the people would chase after her. Sure enough, a blue pickup truck was driving towards her. The pickup truck sped up and drove over the grass. Then it stopped not far in front of Harper. Harper didn't dare to go forward. Just when she was desperate, she found a police station by the road, and immediately ran in, but strangely, there was no one in the police station. In order to calm herself down quickly, Harper went to the bathroom to wash her face. As soon as she came out of the bathroom, Harper was about to leave, when a voice came from the room, and she found that there was a policeman in the station. Harper told the policeman that she wanted to report the crime and described it to the policeman. The policeman didn't ask her if she had any evidence. Harper quickly got into the car to get her mobile phone, only to find that the car had suddenly been lifted up. It turned out that a tow truck had lifted the rear wheel of her car without waiting for her to react. The tow truck had already started up. No matter how frantically Harper honked the horn, the other party did not stop and instead kept accelerating. The car moved quickly. Harper did not have time to jump out. She could only hold the phone and call the police. Before she could dial the number, the car had been towed to a deserted farm. A group of men with guns were all looking at Harper. Ravenner asked Harper if she had shot something she shouldn't have shot. Harper immediately begged for forgiveness. She could hand over the camera and the photos. Just spare her a life, but Ravenner said that Harper was now like a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. For fun, Ravenner wanted to have a duel with Harper. If Harper won, she would be allowed to leave. Harper slowly got out of the car and quickly pulled out her gun and attacked first. Ravenner's men were shot down by Harper. He was furious and hit Harper directly in the hand with a long whip. Harper's gun gets taken away too. She wants to stand up and fight back, but a common girl cannot possibly fight men. Harper gets slapped hard and falls to the ground. Then she gets put on a table. Her hands and legs get nailed to metal nails, a revenge for his brothers. Despite all the torture and abuse towards Harper, the beasts hang her on a pole. Her hands get tied tightly. She remembers a small knife she has in her pocket. She tries to bend down to get it, but carelessly cuts her hand. The knife falls to the ground. Just like that, a chance to save herself gets wasted. She starts to shout for help, but all she gets in return is the echo in the cow shed and endless loneliness. At this time, she sees a light bulb in front. In order to save herself, she swings her body wildly. Just like that, her body's range of swing gets bigger. Finally, she reaches the beam the light bulb hangs on. Harper unscrews the light bulb, breaks it, then uses a piece of glass to cut the wire binding her hands. Then smells a little bit, and unhooks the iron hook that binds her foot, finally falls to the ground, and then uses the small knife to cut the wire binding her foot. The moment she is about to fall, she hears a weird noise not too far. Harper walks forward and sees a man put in a plastic bag, with maggots flying around. She screams in terror, and runs out of the cowshed. Outside there are hanging shoes big and small. It seems like a lot of people have been hurt here. At this time, the beasts have returned. Seeing that the prey has disappeared, they quickly ride their motorcycles to chase after Harper. Harper runs frantically on the wild grass, not knowing how long she has been running. Her physical strength is depleted, so she can only wash her face in the lake to sober up. Finally, she finds an abandoned cabin next to the lake. Harper walks in. The wall is covered with animal carcasses. It seems like the former owner of the cabin was a hunter. Harper finds a pair of old shoes and puts them on, then takes out a coil of rope and puts it in her pocket. Harper does not stay in the cabin for long. She climbs up a tree and sees the white smoke from the beasts, remembering the humiliation she suffered. She decides to make them pay. By night she sneaks to the campfire. Currently only the leader is by the fire. The others must be chasing after Harper, but they did not expect that Harper has already returned. First, Harper goes and pats the buttocks of their horses. The leader immediately stands up to check. Harper takes the opportunity to search their stuff. Unexpectedly she finds a box of bullets inside. Looking at these bullets, she figures out how to deal with the leader. Harper first takes the bullets and climbs up a tree, then uses a rope to tie the bullets together and slowly lowers them into the fire. The bullets get burned by the fire and begin to explode. Each shrapnel explodes on the leader. After the explosion he can only gasp. He covers his body and barely survives. He started cursing her, but still, she didn't say much. She put on gloves and covered the bald man's mouth, suffocating her to death. Then Harper took all of the bald man's stuff and started planning the next step. Suddenly she tripped over a wire on the ground. Looking at these sharp, thin wires, Harper came up with a plan to get a better revenge. She tied both ends of the wire to the tree and made sure the wire was just the right height to reach her neck before she felt relieved. Then Harper deliberately revealed her location, luring the beast to the wire. At this point, the beast only saw its prey, completely oblivious to the trap ahead. Just like that, his head was severed from his body, and he died a miserable death. Harper picked up his helmet and gun and continued on her way. She kept going until she came to a river. Harper put her helmet down, and then walked into the river. A moment later, the man chasing Harper found the helmet. He picked it up and found that it was tied to a string. He was curious and pulled the string, but he didn't expect Harper to take the opportunity to get out of the water and shoot him, and then shoot him again in the mouth. Just as she sat down by the river to put on her shoes, she heard the sound of a motorcycle. Ravenner spoke to them over the intercom, telling them not to chase after her anymore, that all exits were blocked. Before Harper escaped 15 kilometers towards Halu by waterway, she would not be able to escape the forest, but he did not know that his teammate had been killed by Harper. When she heard this, Harper prepared everything and continued to flee. Harper found an abandoned log cabin and used available items such as oil drums and planks to make a raft. Then she sat on the raft and drifted down to Halu. On the way, she found a house with people living in it. A kind old man lived there, and he welcomed Harper warmly, even wanting to keep her for dinner. 2 days of revenge had left her hungry, so she decided to stay. As he went into the kitchen to cook, Harper accidentally saw a group photo and realized that the old man was Ravenner's father. Harper was scared. At this moment, she saw an insulin syringe on the table and remembered that the bald man's bag had a bag of flour in it. So she secretly put the flour into the old man's syringe. When the alarm clock rang, he picked up the syringe and quietly left this world. Harper then took some food from the refrigerator, grabbed his shotgun, and left in his pickup truck. Along the way, she saw many abandoned cars. These were probably made by beasts. The car ran out of gas, so she got out and walked. In the evening, it rained, and she sat in an abandoned car and lit a fire to keep warm. Early in the morning, she took the shotgun and walked towards the sunrise, continuing her escape. For her, staying in the forest any longer would be dangerous. After a while, she managed to get out of the forest. She went to a convenience store, saw a cop. Harper fell to the ground. Running for days in a row made her feel haggard both physically and mentally. She finally got away and ran on the way. Harper recounted the bad things about those people. She never expected to see the cop's figure when she looked back at the photo again. This made her collapse. The cop realized that he had been exposed and locked the car door. No matter how desperate Harper was, the car soon drove to the farm she was obsessed with. Ravenner opens the door to welcome Harper personally. Harper was dazzled into the house. Ravenner also brought a cow, and popularized Harper with the wildest form of torture in the Middle Ages. Sew people into the cow's stomach and let them be slowly eroded by the stomach acid, which will take 3 days to be completely digested. Then Ravenner used a knife to open the belly of a live cow in front of her. At this time, Harper found a nail behind her to delay time. She used the nail to rub the rope. On the one hand, she described how she killed his companion. Ravenner got angry and came to Harper. Unexpectedly, Harper stabbed Ravenner with a nail, and the two quickly wrestled. But how could Harper fight against the strong Ravenner? She was pushed into the iron chain by him and was about to die of suffocation. She took out the pistol from his waist and pointed it at him. She didn't expect that there was no bullet in it. Ravenner knocked Harper down with a punch. Then stabbed Harper in the leg with a knife, and finally Harper was sewn into the cow's stomach by Ravenner, leaving only one eye. Wait for her beast to leave. However, the strong Harper was not dead yet. She soon got out of the cow's stomach. Then she opened the door and ran away with her hands covered with gastric juice. However, the whole body was soon eroded by acid, causing 98% of it to be seriously damaged. She took off the bandage. Her face had changed. Harper told the police everything. The police were so scared that they were silent. But he quickly started to investigate. He believed that he would soon be able to catch the beast for Harper. The movie is over here. See you in the next one. Here you can check out other